I didn't realize that you could educate roosters. So like, what do you mean by that? Is it kind of like a whitetail buck? If he wins you or something, then he kind of avoids that area the next time?
So, I've pheasants can tend to come back. They don't have like a huge travel area, but when I say educated, what can happen over time is once they've, kind of that first flush of the season is your best chance to get on that bird. And then once they've had a dog behind them, a dog chasing them, a pheasant naturally will run first. And then eventually when it gets to a point where it can't feel that it can escape from running, it will flush and fly at that point. But their preference is to run. So when I say educated, they get really smart really quick. They start to learn when dogs are out there, hunters are out there. And that's why it can help to try to be more quiet at the truck, enter the field, maybe a different direction, especially hunting public land, because a lot of guys park at the parking lot, walk that field the exact same way, and then get in their car and leave. So that's kind of the big thing is after they flushed a few times, they figure out the game and they understand what's going on. So that's when you got to get more creative, and you can still pin them down. Good dog work is always important with the pheasants because if you're out there without a dog, you can do it, but with them wanting to run, unfortunately, they'll just run circles around you and never flush, and then you'll leave that field and be like, "Oh, that kind of sucked. There were no birds in there." Well, little did you know there were birds in there. They're just smart and have figured out how to survive. And let's be honest, we're coming into their house where they live all the time. So they know all the little escape routes and all the quirks of the land. So they definitely have the upper hand, as they should in that regards. But that's the biggest thing is once they get that hunting pressure, especially on public ground, it can be tough to pin them down. Now on private, if it gets hunted 2-3 times a year, you can even some of those mature birds, you can get them to sit real tight early December, mid-December. But yeah, if they've had any pressure, I don't know what it is. It seems like they learn real quick, especially the roosters. I don't know if it doesn't make sense to me, but I've always said it's like the hens know they can't get shot at because the roosters take off running and they'll flush 100 yards ahead of you, once they're educated. And those hens will still sit tight and you'll have a nice, beautiful point on a dog. And then you kick it up and it's a hen. And of course, you can't shoot here in Iowa on hens unless you're at a game farm. So that's kind of the name of the game, though.